Hello and welcome back to Planet Coaster. I'm your host, Brothgar, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial here in Planet Coaster about reversed banked corners. This roller coaster you're seeing here was featured in my last video, which revolves all around the idea of reversed banked corners and getting the most out of that element. With that in mind, you can actually create very exciting roller coasters because what you're doing is simulating airtime. So let me load up my test map and break down the elements for you. Alright, so here we are in my static scientific test right here, my bench test, and what I have set up is roller coaster basically just doing a very oval, just going out and coming back around the same corner right there, each one of these with an increasing degree of negative banking. So at the top here is my control, and then each one of these increases by 11¼ degrees because that's the smallest snap I can do right there. And that is my test right there. There's some other tests, and we'll get into that as I've gone through all of the different results here. So the very first result we're seeing as far as testing goes, we're seeing an excitement rating of 4.5 for a static, just lateral G's, nothing fancy at all, 0. And as we move up here, we're going to see the excitement rating increasing. So we've increased to 4.65. As we move through this, we also got a 5.06 moving up, giving it a little bit more negative degrees, so that is 22.5. And as we increase here, we're also increasing, look at this, 5.1 now with 32.75. And then we increase some more, 5.12. And then finally down here, 5.13. So maybe that what that's doing is creating a whole bunch of negative G's. So if we go back and we look at the heat maps here, what we've seen is we've increased the excitement rating with every degree of increasing negative G, right? So if we look at the heat maps here, we're going to get a better view of what's going on. Negative G's, if we look at the vertical acceleration, we're producing a ½ G of negative right there. And then as we move on, we're actually creating a negative 1.1 G. Now, if you remember from my very first tutorial, I said that negative 1 G is your best negative G you can get. Everything below it is going to be lower excitement, and everything above it is going to be less excitement than negative 1 G. However, what we're seeing in this test here is that obviously since the banking is increased more, I'm going to create more negative G. So maybe this is going against what I first said in my very first tutorial. However, there's one thing that isn't accounted for in this bench test right here, which is a very important factor. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the total airtime duration. So obviously each one of these roller coasters has an increasing duration of degree, right? It's not consistent throughout the entire thing. It slopes into its maximum degree and then slopes out and is flat by the time that it goes back straight. So there's one unisolated variable right here, and that is how long it takes to slope to that maximum degree. And what you have is a larger area that is sloped above negative 1 G. So if you look at some of this more extreme down here, you have a total airtime duration of 1.2 seconds as compared to the very first roller coaster, which I don't think has any, and then the second one down here that actually gets above negative 1 G has a total airtime duration of 0.7. So that's where the excitement rating is coming from, the total airtime duration, not so much the amount of negative G's that's being produced. So I had to isolate that variable and test it to the best of my ability. So over here, I took my best result, which was the 22.5, which got me closest to negative 1 G. So if you look at the vertical acceleration, it is negative 1.14 here, right in the middle of the corner, as it goes throughout that corner right there. And it only changes its slope in the flat area right here. So this corner is all negative G. The same with up here. However, this one was my highest excitement rating. However, what you've seen here is the vertical acceleration is higher than negative 1 G. So what we have here is an excitement rating of 5.32. However, down here, we have an excitement rating of 5.43. So you can see there that the very first thing, this to me was very exciting because the first thing I told you in all of my tutorials is that negative 1 G is the best negative G you can go for. So that is your guideline. When you're reverse banking all of your roller coasters right here, as you're going throughout your different elements, what you're going to want to do is, as whatever it is you're doing, as you're building your roller coaster in the way that you're going to be doing it, let's say with this roller coaster right here, which I'm just going to place down real quick. As you're testing your roller coaster, right? as you're running it through its tests, we're editing the track, what you're going to want to do is pause your roller coaster at a certain point on the track here. Look at its live data, see what it's telling you. If that vertical acceleration, you're going to want to try to make it -1. If it's too little, if you're under this, then what you're going to want to do is increase the speed or increase the angle. And that's going to get you closer to -1g, which is going to get you closer to the optimal corner that you're going to have if you're trying to create a negative, or so we say, a reverse banked corner. So as you can see right here, I've tuned this corner to the best of my ability to try to generate -1g. So as it's moving through here, you can see it hits -1 and then kind of starts to taper out a little bit, but then increase again. So I'm testing this throughout its slope here to try to get that average as close as possible to -1g. Again, so you come in here and you can actually rotate this a little bit, right? So you adjust it ever so slightly and then run your test again. You can also select a larger area of this track and change the average of this entire slope all at once if you really want to. See how we're increasing or decreasing the total of this slope? You can do that. So we got a little crazy right there. But that's one way you can kind of make those adjustments. Reverse bank slope, like this area where you're changing your elevation and changing how much you're reverse banking, shall we say, you're adjusting your banking. It's a very custom thing. It's not a binary thing at all where you just set it to 0.25 and then you go down by 5 degrees and therefore that's the best. No, it's a very custom, and you have to make it to the best of your ability and tune it in real time. Start your test, run it as fast as you can, pause it, run the next roller coaster, pause it, and make it as best as possible. And that's how you can get these really good ratings on a roller coaster like this, where we saw at the very beginning, which was well over 8 excitement rating, with your fear rating still being not in the extreme. So that's the custom aspect of this. Now, that's essentially as much as you need to know about reverse banking. Let's just take a look at banking in general with this roller coaster right here. What I have here, again, this is the static test, just a normal flat corner as compared to a reversed banked corner, in this case the best possible result I was able to get you, which is a 5.43, which is obviously quite a bit more than a 4.5. However, sloping inward here is slightly better. Look at this, 4.52, only a difference of 0.02, but the big difference here is the difference in fear, 3.66 as compared to 3.8. So it definitely makes sense if you're not reverse banking your corners to try to get a more exciting element that you're designing into your roller coaster, but you're trying to go for a more realistic roller coaster and you want to bank inward. It definitely makes sense to do that and do it wherever possible, because your benefit is that you're increasing the delta between your excitement rating and your fear rating. You're reducing your fear rating, not doing a whole lot to increase your excitement rating, but you're definitely reducing your fear tolerance there, which means you can make it faster, which means you can make it more exciting. So there it is, guys. That is my tutorial on reversed banked corners. It's definitely something you can use to your advantage, and it's definitely something that you can produce some pretty great results with. I mean, if you just take a look at this and look at the heat map, wow, what an exciting corner we have created. 9.84 is the highest number you see right there. How about that? Not bad when you consider its base number is a pitiful 5.31. So there you have it. You can use that to your advantage, guys, and build very exciting roller coasters. At any rate, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. If you found this tutorial somewhat informative or helpful, maybe leave a like on the way out and let me know if there's something else that you want me to create a tutorial on down there in the comment section below. There's already a few requests that I think I'll be digging into very soon here. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Have a great day, guys. Continue to stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.